Okay, so I'm reading my daily Al-anon daily readers, and today is December 5th. I do this every day in honor of my dad, who passed away sober in September. So, starting with Hope for Today, December 5th, page 340. When my children were little, they didn't like cooked carrots. However, they loved to eat carrots raw. So I always kept some around for snacks. I don't care for those big, thick, pale carrots that seem to taste like wood. I prefer the slender, sweet, bright ones. So, when I shopped for carrots for the kids, I carefully chose the skinniest, brightest ones I could find. I didn't realize it at the time, but as I searched through those piles of carrots, my young son had been sitting in the kiddie seat for of the shopping cart, coming to his own conclusion. Recently, as a teenager, he expressed resentment that I always bought him scrawny carrots. Scrawny carrots? I had so lovingly selected them for him, and I had been doing what I thought was best. And he was resenting it because he wanted, or thought he wanted, something different. That's pretty funny. Once at an Al-anon meeting, I heard sharing on the topic of spiritual gifts that come disguised as something one doesn't particularly like. This idea was in the back of my mind as I listened to my son. Suddenly, I found new insight and understanding. Was I resenting God's scrawny carrots? Were the challenges and losses in my life actually gifts God chosen carefully for me so that I might grow spiritually? I knew it to be so, and I felt simultaneously humbled and overwhelmed with gratitude for the nature of my higher power's love for me. It's pretty powerful. Thought for today. Mine is a disease of distorted perception. Higher power, please help me appreciate the scrawny carrots of my life as the gifts they really are. I'm constantly making choices about how I perceive my world. With the help of Al-anon and my friends in the fellowship, I can make those choices more consciously and more actively than ever before. Courage to Change, page 243. Okay, the next one is One Day at a Time in Al-anon. And today is December 5th, page 340. Life with the Al-anon program, to which we turn when we are deep in trouble, may ultimately comfort us may ultimately confront us with a special challenge. At first, we may come as doubters. How can my terrible problem be solved by joining a group? Then come the revelations. We learn how to live and find serenity amidst the alcoholic turmoil. We see ourselves growing, understanding, helping. But once the major problem is eliminated by the alcoholics joining AA, we may feel we're old-timers at the Al-anon business. We think we have made it. We skip meetings and have no time to comfort troubled newcomers. Forget about reading Al-anon books. Then comes the challenge of continued problems, and we realize how much we still need Al-anon to keep our lives able to meet them. Today's reminder: I don't resort to Al-anon only to learn to live with the active drinking problem. It is my way of life, an increasingly rich and rewarding life, as I learn to use the program in depth. AA brings the drinker to sobriety in order to fit him to absorb the deeper meaning of the program. Al-anon changes our thinking for the same purpose. AA brings the drinker to sobriety in order to fit him to absorb the deeper meaning of the program. Al-anon changes our thinking for the same purpose. Okay. The next one is Courage to Change. Okay, December 5th, page 340. I was sure there had to be somebody in this world who would understand my every mood, always have time for me, and bring a smile to my face. When that individual appeared, I'd finally have the love I deserved. Until then, I had no choice but to wait. Poor me. What a sad and lonely life I had. Then someone in an Al-anon meeting used the word gratitude, and suddenly this whole scenario began to crumble. When I thought about how much I had to be grateful for, my fantasy showed itself to be no more than a shadow. Reality presented a different picture entirely. There were my friends, the child who comes to me with so much trust, the coworker who reaches out in friendship, the beloved alcoholic in my life, the Al-anon members who hugged me, talked to me, and encouraged me. What was I doing with their love? It seemed to me I was brushing it aside for that one imaginary person, or worse, not noticing it at all. Today's reminder: if I can't recognize the love that already exists in my life, would I really appreciate receiving more? Let me acknowledge what has already been given to me. If the only prayer you said in your whole life was thank you, that would suffice. That would suffice. Meister Eckhart. Okay, and now I do a couple Al-ateen readings. Because I really support the Al-ateen program. I think it's great for young folks. December 5th, page 340. I used to blame the other people for things I would do. I found out it only got me in trouble. In Al-ateen, I've learned to admit what I did, to keep the focus on myself, and to stop blaming everyone else. Rather than losing my temper at my brother, my mom, or anybody, Al-ateen has shown me how to release my feelings in positive ways, like writing, talking to my sponsor, taking a walk, or applying a slogan. How important is it? Releasing my anger in a way that makes others feel bad isn't good for me or for them. Things to think about. I'm only trying to cover myself. Al-ateen tells me to be honest, to be responsible for my actions. It takes less energy to tell the truth, and it works out better for everyone concerned. Isn't that the truth? Al-ateen, a day at a time, page 265. Lastly, Al-ateen, a day at a time. December 5th, page 340. I was always harder on myself than I was on other people. I could accept others when they made a mistake, but I expected more of myself. It got to be a real problem. I couldn't be wrong because that would blow the image I had of myself. It was as if I were standing over my own right shoulder with a big stick ready to knock myself over the head if I stepped out of line. It's better today, with slogans like Easy Does It and the 12 Steps. I'm learning to go easier on myself, and that it's no big deal to be wrong. I'm also starting to see that I can learn a lot from the mistakes I make. Things to think about. I expect a lot of myself, but I have to be fair. I do have the right to be wrong. When I give myself that kind of freedom, the mistakes I make can be some of the best learning experiences of my life.